Hello and welcome to another Delboy random gameplay video. As many know, I like to play games that are quite modern but have a foot in the past, and I think this one really suits the bill, and it's called Shatter. So what is Shatter? Well, it goes back to probably the oldest type of video game you could get, which is a bat and ball game, but this one is more similar to Breakout and Arkanoid than Pong, which is also a bat and ball game. Shatter's been around now for quite some time. I believe it was 2010 when I first played this, but this year the game has been remastered and it's coming out in the third quarter of this year, so not long now. This one has another similarity with something that I used to do in my past, and that is I used to load up games just to listen to the music. One of the strongest points of Shatter is not only its old arcade and Breakout roots, is the sound is very 70s 80s synthesized score, and you can actually get the soundtrack to this separately. I've done that and loaded this game up and just listened to the music without playing the game. It's one of those type of games that really do make me smile. So without any ado, we'll basically just click past this main title screen and you'll be presented with a very simplistic menu. Just before you load up the game, you do have the option of changing some of the graphic fidelity. It's a very simplified menu system. Basically, you can change whether you've got anti-aliasing, what the screen resolution is, whether it's windowed, whether it's full screen. So really, this option menu is very simplified when you get into the game. If we go to help and options, there is a how to play, which I'll explain in a moment, and then you've got a settings where you can change how you want the controller to be. Now I'm playing this under keyboard, but you can play it under mouse and keyboard, and you can play it with a controller. Most controllers have got a rumble function, so this also has a rumble function. The music volume basically goes up in 20%, so I've either got it on or off. So for me to record, I've got this set quite low, but hopefully I haven't got it so low that you can't hear the actual wonderful music that's going on in the background. And then there is a credits. Very, like I say, very simplistic with the menu system. So we're going to play a quick game of this. I will try and play as much as I think you need to see the style of game this is, and hopefully you'll see why I like it so much. So let's go, and we'll start off in story mode, and let's go. Starts off with a little story where you see a bouncing ball sort of like being pushed against a bumper. It goes wrong and then fires off in a random direction, and then you're in the game. Like I say, it's very simple. It's like a Breakout game, but very neon-y. So hopefully you can hear the score okay, because this tune is absolutely fantastic. Now, there is a little feature in this game where you can actually blow and pull in shards and the ball. So if I press the left mouse button, I'm pushing, and if I press the right mouse button, I'm pulling. So as you can see, I'm pulling those in, and I can push the ball away. and that means that I've got direction without having to wait for the ball to come back. As you can see, I'm keeping the ball over to the right as much as I want, but I'm not pulling in any of the extras that are coming in. Now I'm starting to pull them in. There we go. So it's an interesting mechanic. Wave 2. Here we go. And just like many Arkanoid games, there are power-ups, which will really aid you later on. Lots of extra lives, so it shouldn't be too bad for people that make the odd mistake, like me. As you can see, I didn't even have to wait for the ball to come back. I can push it away. And as you can see, the power-ups are quite special. So I've just got to hit this one, see if I can knock it without having to hit it. There we go. Lots and lots of waves in this. Like I say, it's just quite an addictive game after a while. It really does have some lovely features. So those little red arrows, if I hit them, turn into missiles and fire off into the blocks that I'm supposed to destroy. And there we go. This changing of the background and going between levels is very Res-like. If you've ever played Res, which is a weird vector type game, you'll know what I mean. It's quite a nice transition, much better than waiting for your bat just to go through the side panel of a exit. So again, something else that I think is done a lot better in this game. Like I say, I think the biggest draw of this is the blow and push function. So I'm blowing that ball away now, because I need to get over there and knock those final ones out the way. So I can still play it as normal. Hitting the right hand side pushes it slightly to the right, but if I hit that one block there, I've destroyed the whole wave. Moving quite through these quite quickly. Go. Like I say, I can't quite remember what all of the special features are, but some of them are multipliers, some of them are shooting abilities. That's probably about half the fun, really, is knowing, oh, what's this extra thing going to do? I'd say one of the things that is quite a bit of a drawback is the screen can get so cluttered that sometimes you can't see what the ball is. But you should be able to see it because of the trail. But even I, at the very beginning, if I destroy something that's absolutely massive on the screen, have trouble identifying the ball. Not much more to do now. Let's see if I can blow that up and blow that up. There we go. Like I say, this can get really quite fast as well. I was lucky there. If those blocks do hit you, you lose power. And the power gives you the ability to fire. So you need to be very, very careful. They won't generally kill you, they just knock you out. But if the power goes too low, I believe you can die. this one. There we go. So we're on to wave 7. I'm not quite sure how many waves there are per level. But there is one surprising thing right at the end of one whole level, and that is a boss. You don't usually see bosses in these types of games, but I thought that was quite interesting, and the bosses are huge. Whoa. It's really starting to get tricky. Need all those shards if I can, especially that one up. Because when you get to the boss, you'll see what I mean. Bit more. Yes! There's the boss! And I've got to hit its head. I'm starting to fire these shards because they're going to really be needed. Trying to blow the ball over to the back end and hopefully come in from behind, because it will give me some shards so that I can fire more. Hey presto, a boss destroyed. Now the bonus level is very, very simplified. It's just basically how long can you keep these 3 balls juggling in this little arena. They speed up. You don't really have push and pull anymore to do anything with this, so it's a simple matter of just juggling as best as possible or as long as possible, and it just gives you a bit of a multiplier for your final score. As you can see, it's very, very trippy graphics, but I think it's clean enough really to make it not too distracting. Whoa! Let's see how we did. Got a time bonus as well. World score 33,442. Now this next target for this mode is there purely because on a friends list you can see what your high score is and see if you can beat people's score levels. Now you do it by world and you do it by the whole of the game, so I'm slightly ahead of certain friends, but I'm not ahead in this particular level. So you can see my mode high score is 44 million, but it's higher than another friend of mine's score, and his highest score is like 39 million. So not too bad with that. Click enter and you go to the next level. And we'll continue to play just to see if there's any extra features, because as we move forward with these there should be some more mechanical changes. You can see it's still remaining quite a clean game, even though the level and the graphics have changed. Just be very, very careful getting hit by blocks that come towards you, because if that happens while the ball is near you, it can be really bad. Like that. Yes. I say, you can aim the ball a little bit by pushing and pulling mechanic. Ooh, I've got to see if I can get those and push away. See if I can get the angle. Yes! But the music in this, I don't know if you can hear it above my voice, is just stunning to me, but I'm very, very easily pleased if there are synthesizers and a style of late 70s, early 80s. So I'm easily pleased. So I lost a life on the last level, so I should think that now we're on World 2. The extra lives are probably not going to come in quite as easy as they did on the first one. Good, got that. See if I can push away and knock this down there. There we go. It's interesting as well that sometimes it plays to the left and sometimes it plays to the right. Now this one looks strange because it's only a quarter of the screen that I can move around in. That's going to be interesting. Oh, very interesting. Whoa. Oh. God, it's like gyrus. Whoa. I decided to see if I can get rid of a few of those balls because this one looks like it might take some time to... Ah, look at that. To get these ones, looks like it'll be difficult with the circle mechanic. Just a couple there to get. And it's going to take me some time to get used to the angles with a curved surface that this is bouncing off of. Oh, so close. Oh, nearly there. Oh. Got it! Whoa, that one was tricky. This one just looks as equally as difficult. So, as I was saying sort of like before, I've played bat and ball games so many over much of my life, and to be quite honest, they don't excite me. And that's nothing to do with the poor game's fault. It's just, they just don't excite because they go back to the art in relation to what you've been used to playing. So, to be quite honest, when this game came along, I had very low expectations. But when I started to play it, I really did sort of like fall in love with it. And even with Arkanoid, I soon got sort of bored with it. Really, it's an exceptional game, and it has its history and its lovers of that game. But to be quite honest, there was something about it that was difficult, which was either the movement or sometimes it juddered, or the frustration of trying to get the ball through a very small hole, which really isn't the game's fault. That's just my game style doesn't match the expectation of the game. There's something about this where I've got a little bit more control with that push and pull mechanic, and from that point of view I tend to find that I'm not really struggling to get rid of that last little block. That's obviously not all the time. So, you know, so there's still the problems. But like I say, I find it very few and far between. One thing you have really got to be careful though with is those blocks that come down. They really do, if they knock you, stop you from getting the ball. Oh, like that. I'm certainly getting hounded a bit here. I'm going to try and push this ball away as much as possible to angle the ball towards these ones over on the right, and then pick up those shards, which will give me power later on for the boss. Got that one. And that one, yes. Ooh, this one looking a little bit tricky because the blocks are a little bit closer than I like them to be, not giving me much room. It's a pity those radioactive blocks that blow up huge sections are right at the top. Yes. Yes. It's really satisfying when you get a couple of chains of explosions under your belt. Ah, that was heading right for that radioactive symbol then. Yes. Now, let's see if I can do something about this one. Use the push again, angle it, yes. Wave 7 though, as we know, those little arrows should fire rockets upwards. And they do. But if they collide with another one, they spin out of control all over the shop. Oh, that's interesting. Like a Catherine wheel, that one. Yes. Like I say, you get a chain and yes, you really do feel like you've made progress. Got it. Pull it towards me now, push away. Not that angle. No, not quite tight enough. Yes. And now a boss. Well, he's an ugly devil. Oh, that was unfair. Get some of that body away so that I can destroy him a little bit easier. That's what all those shards are for. Let's see if I can blow him. No, can't. Haven't got enough power yet. Oh, that was unfair. The push again, get it over the other side, and then drag it towards me. Still got an extra life out of it. Yes! Blown it up. And that's the end of World 2. Now, just like I said before, the bonus level is a very simplified, keep as many of these juggling around as best as possible. It's a little bit of a respite really after the frenetic action of all the shards and everything that's been firing towards you. This is just a simple keep the balls going as much as possible, and of course if they go past you then of course there's less to juggle. So, and really being just an extra challenge, it's like a challenge stage. It really is just get your score up to the maximum that you can without the push and pull mechanic, of course. And here we go, it's getting faster. And as look at that. As there was only one left, it was just basically getting closer and closer to the left-hand side of the screen, so it wouldn't go all the way to the right. But another time bonus, another world score. Still Mappy is ahead of me. He got a fantastic score for this world, and I'm now up to 65 million. Absolutely fantastic. And like I say, I then move on to World 3. So I'm just going to pause it there because I hope that I've given you a view of a game that I really, really, really love. Now, like I say, it's an oldish game. It's cheap at the moment. It's below £3. A remastered version is coming out later on. Now, I'm not quite sure what the remaster is going to be like, whether they've made any changes to the music. They've obviously improved the graphics, whether that's going to be higher resolutions, more color, or some enhanced power-ups. They're bound sure to all be in there. But if you want to play this game earlier and play the older version, this is an absolute bargain and one that I wholly recommend. Like I say, battle ball games have been around since the Ark, and that might put you off. But I'm hoping what I've shown you here gives you a good indication that they're back, and they're back with a vengeance. And until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've been entertained. Bye-bye.